And here we are. Game 2 of the best of 5. Season 2 of the BSL rematch between Jaco and OntheAtack. It's been much anticipated. These two Platinum League Goliaths colliding. What happens when rhinos collide, we'll find out here. And you know what? Jaco, I like this new version of him. His macro is much improved. Much improved. And he's got more confidence macroing into that mid game. Well, let's not get ahead of myself here. Let's announce the players in the top left corner. The blue Terran. OntheAtack. And in the bottom left corner, the green Zerg, Jaco. And like I was saying before, Jaco's macro looks pretty good. His drone count was really good in that game. I remember in Season 1, sometimes I was criticizing him for not droning up enough. He's rectified that problem. The macro looks way better this season. It was just some decision making, I think. You know, when you get that 3 base economy in place, at that point you should just max out on Roach Ravager, because that's why you're getting the 3 base economy, to be able to afford to max out. Basically, he got the economy together and then pushed out with a force that was befitting of more of a 2 base push out, or an earlier push out. It wasn't that big, only about 100 supply total, and a lot of that supply was comprised of workers. You know, he had over 60 drones, 3 base saturation, was out macroing OntheAtack in the worker count, despite losing some to Hellions, and pushed, and then pushed again into a planetary fortress, and the bio DPS while Jaco was fighting the planetary. Lacking in Ravagers as well. Ravagers are very good biling down planetary fortresses while the SCVs are repairing. When the SCVs come to repair, you can place that bile in between the planetary and the SCV repairing and get double damage, double value. But there were only 2 Ravagers in that fight. So let's see if Jaco can make the adjustments going forward. You know, he's just got to be a little more selective with his engagements. But his fundamentals look strong. Whereas OntheAtack did a good job getting that second factory out. Maybe discombobulated Jaco a bit with the Hellions and the Widow Mines. Maybe Jaco wasn't expecting it. We got a reactor here now coming on this Rax. Kind of a late second gas for OntheAtack. There it is. Coming up now. CC on the low ground, and it doesn't look like Jaco's going to do a bailing bust this game. He's got his third hatchery, you know, built at a pretty good time, actually. Very early timing. He actually did it before the second queen in the natural. Interesting choice. Now let's see if Jaco's on top of its inject timing over here as this queen pops out. Got a couple seconds delay. It could be a little cleaner. But, you know, this is the BSL after all. So not that big of a deal. And now we got, again, the Hellion opening from OntheAtack. He's really liking this Hellion play. A quick eBay also behind this. That's interesting. A little bit worried for him because he doesn't have much muscle behind this Hellion play. There's only 1 Rax out there. No starport. Going for an eBay instead of a second Rax or a starport might gimp his early army strength a little bit. And I wonder why he's getting that early eBay. Does he really want an early upgrade? Or is he worried about air? And he wants missile turrets up? But that's way too early for mutas. And Jaco usually doesn't even go mutas. So maybe he wants an early attack upgrade or something. But we'll see. The Hellions come into the third base now. The Spine Crawler has not yet been completed, so some crisp timing from OntheAtack. Getting there before the Spine comes up and gets out. And now he's coming into the natural base, but Jaco is adjusted. He also has a Spine in the natural. But he needs to pull back the Lings. They're just going to die to those Hellions. And you got the Spine already protecting the drones. Loses 4 Lings. But ATAC, he's keeping the Hellions alive. Getting value, keeping the Hellions alive. We just got to make sure he's macroing on the back of all this. We got some idle starport time. And both players need to be weary of that dreaded 50-ish supply block. And there it is again. On the ATAC, getting supply blocked at 54. And let's see if a supply depot is coming down here. Hard to see. Doesn't really look like it. Let's look at the production tab. No supply depot has been built yet for on the ATAC, and this is a very nasty supply block. He's been supply blocked for 20 seconds, and he hasn't even put a supply depot down here. He's really invested in microing these Hellions. But, I mean, well, he's doing some pretty good damage here. He's just not putting a supply depot down behind this. But you know what? He's actually killed the Spine in this third base. So, you know, he's getting work done against Jaco. Jaco a little bit light on the Lings and Queens early, relying on that Spine Crawler, but the Hellions just got on top of it. But now, Jaco's just got to split up his drones. Real aggressive dive from ATAC. He's sacking those Hellions. That's one way to free up supply. And now some Marines even coming across the map, but... or maybe that was a bit of F2 action. But I worry for on the ATAC because the macro behind this has not been especially great. Now he's starting to put buildings down. Sacrificed a lot of units for that. Let's take a look at the worker count here. He has a worker lead against the Zerg player for now, so it was an effective attack. But he would have been way more effective if he put a supply depot down behind that. So we still see here 52 supply, not breaking that 54 supply barrier. And again, no supply depot in construction, but he does have a command center coming up. Third base command center, but these roaches are outside. It's an audacious place to put a command center when you just lost most of your army sacrificing Hellions into a mineral line and you don't have a counter for roaches on the map. Now the Widow Mines are coming forward. A couple shots going to get off. Roaches go down. But roaches are actually pretty good against Widow Mines overall. So no tanks on the map for on the ATAC as the Liberator comes forward. But these roaches can actually get a lot of value done. There's not much protecting this bunker. Okay, Jaco pulls out. Didn't want to commit into the bunker. He's going to take out these Widow Mines while they're exposed. Not a bad idea. Oh, another shot goes off, though. So a little bit of extra value before this comes to an end. Liberator doesn't quite kill the Roach. We see here Hydra tech behind this for Jaco. He's pumping out 7 Hydras, getting that +1 missile upgrade. But both players pooling a little bit of mineral. And I'm worried about the third base saturation for Jaco, actually. He really needs to make some drones, maybe take a 4th. And on the ATAC is just getting his centers of production up here. Going double starport, double factory, and 4 racks. So kind of a mech bio hybrid almost, it looks like. But this... oh, triple starport now from on the ATAC. Reactors on both starports. It could be heavy Liberator play to counter this Roach count. Blows have been landed, but on the ATAC is building that third command center. Jaco now has taken a 4th base at least. He does have a worker lead of 12 drones. 17 drones now. So he's droned up very well in the interim. And supply is a little bit ahead of on the ATACs. Double medvac coming from this starport. Stimpack still hasn't been researched by the 9-minute mark. And Stimpax is just such a good upgrade that not researching it by now seems criminal. And then this tank is coming forward against this Roach Hydra. And I question Jaco pulling back there. Could have finished off the tank. But he pulled back too quickly. But I think it's a good prerogative not to want to overextend. That's been the bane of his existence in the past. So he's got the right instincts. Mules here coming down at the third base. Fourth base being taken for OntheAtack audaciously right in front of this Roach Hydra. Maybe thinking he can sucker Jaco into a fight, but a cancel is forced out because the tanks and limbs were too far back to protect that CC. And Jaco's just reinforcing this position. Oh, look at this, a lurker transition. I missed the lurker den before. Very interesting. Let's see how ATAC handles a lot of lurkers. He's got some libs, he's got some siege tanks. He's just got to make sure he does not fight his bio into those lurker spines. And look at this, a tech lab on one of these racks is even. Another supply block for ATAC. Widow Mine's now coming forward. He wants to establish a very cost-effective position, knowing that Jaco's going to attack up this ramp. Jaco's really signaled with his army that he's going to come up this ramp. So now ATAC has put together a very cost-effective defensive line, but his bio was too far back. His bio needed to be in the fight earlier. Will it matter, though? This is so much bio, and now the lurkers are too far back, and the lurkers are not killing the bio. OntheAtack doesn't want to fight into these lurkers, or does he? There's only 3 of them. A little bit dirty, but there's no support for the lurkers. It's very disjointed. Very telegraphed and disjointed attack by Jaco. I like the use of lurkers, but a little bit disjointed from both parties, to be honest. This is BSL at its finest. Look at this 4th base now. Does it have any drones? No, it's making troops. Jaco knows he needs troops to survive as more Hydras come out. A drone pull would actually be good here because these Hydras need some support. And oh no! The Liberator getting so much value. These reinforcements are not sufficient. A drone pull is actually needed here from Jaco, who can take out a page out of Shaky's book. Because this is a very close to just killing Jaco right here. And I think Jaco is actually dead now. With these reinforcements, the tank coming in the north, he has been broken. Just a bit of an ill-fated attack. And in my opinion, I actually prefer Roach Ravager to this kind of regular Roach, some Hydras approach that Jaco had. Credit to Jaco for building lurkers. You know, those would have been well served, well used, if the Roaches did not fight the bio outside of the lurker spines. And now Ravagers are coming up in desperation. Can he bile down this Liberator? Jaco does have this secret 3rd base on the bottom right, but he's being cornered off here. ATAC has done a very good job at setting up cost-effective Liberators and Widow Mines at ramps with siege tanks behind them. And he can just abuse this ramp position. Stimpack has at least been researched now. This one Marauder putting pressure on this Extractor as reinforcements are sometimes being F2'd from the right side of the map, being taken out. Lurker cannot do enough against this bio, and neither can the Roach Ravager. I think this is GG here. ATAC just pummeling Jaco. And this may be even more emphatic than the first season of BSL. 2-0 for OntheAtack.